Hello and welcome to the channel, Phoenix Keia Tarot. Today we're taking a look at how you can help yourself to heal your past trauma, okay? Now, if you have resonated with the title of this video, then this will be a reading, regardless of when you actually see it, okay? The titles always come from something that I've actually said during the reading. There are no clickbait titles on my channel, not ever, okay? Also, if you need any information at all, then you can click on the description box below, where you will find the information for personal readings as well, okay? Right, so how can the collective heal their trauma, please? Right, so how this trauma has impacted you in your life. Death card. What emotions do you carry because of the trauma? The Chariot. How this trauma affects your relationships with others. The King of Coins. How this trauma affects the way that you see yourself. Ooh, the Devil. How this trauma can be released. Justice. Okay, what lessons you can learn from your past experience. The Knight of Swords. How you can begin to move past your experience. The Eight of Wands. How will your life change when you finally release your trauma? The King of Swords. And who will you become when you let go of your trauma? The Tower. You're going to become a force to be reckoned with. Right, also as well, guys, before we go any further, I don't do TikTok style readings, okay? I never have and I never will. Tarot, it takes time for the messages to come out, and tarot absolutely must be respected, okay? It is a divination tool. It requires time, patience, and respect, right? Okay, so overall energy, the Four of Cups. It's not great energy, is it? But then, you know, you are dealing with a trauma that has not yet been dealt with. So feeling really uneasy, okay? Your Four of Cups is all about rejection. So feeling rejected. Now, some of you could be dealing with like a family rejection, okay? That sort of thing, family estrangement, okay? Overwhelming feelings of just not being good enough, feeling tired and withdrawn constantly, not feeling like you want to be very sociable, you know, because there's that fear of, well, people aren't going to like me. Do you know what I mean? Is that energy? That's the Four of Cups. Underneath that one is I thought it was the 8. That's the Six of Wands. Okay, so there is hope. Okay, these feelings, that's not going to last forever. This is just what you're feeling in this very moment, okay? Your Six of Wands is the Lord of Victory. So not all is lost, okay? How this trauma has impacted on your life. The Death card. It's changed you completely. So as is true with any kind of trauma, you'll never be the same person that you once were. And do you know what? That's okay. That's okay. If you're constantly trying to chase the person that you used to be, or if you're trying to rebuild the person that you used to be, I can tell you right now, that is not going to work, okay? Let's get comfortable with the fact that you're a new person now. You're a different person. And here's the thing as well. You can be whoever you create yourself to be, okay? It sounds cheesy, but speaking from experience, that is absolutely true, okay? You're supposed to change. People are supposed to change, develop, and evolve, right? You weren't supposed to remain as the person that you used to be. Does that make sense? So, you need to give yourself time to grieve for the person that you used to be, all right? And that is a process. It's going to take time. The emotions that you carry, the Chariot. I'm feeling with the high energy and the high speed of this particular energy, it feels like you're probably trying to overcompensate in a lot of ways, trying to do lots of things really, really quickly. Maybe you were the type of person that was constantly told, oh, you're so lazy, oh, you're so this, oh, you're so that. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that was drummed into you. And so now as an adult, you've got this feeling that you have to do everything quickly. And we all know what happens when you try to rush yourself to do something. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, more mistakes than what you normally would have made if you just take your time with it. Okay? I'm also feeling that there's this general expectation of certain individuals around you of, oh, come on, are you not over that yet? Do you know what I mean? Again, don't take any kind of criticism off of somebody who is going to be like that. All right, if they're not going to be patient and understanding to the fact that you need time to process things, then to be honest with you, you probably want to be putting that particular relationship or connection on pause, okay, until you're in a much clearer headspace to figure out what you're going to do with that relationship or connection from that person who is encouraging you to, you know, just quote unquote get over it. All right, there are certain things that my collective especially have been through where you're not just going to be able to get over it. Like that doesn't just happen overnight. Okay, that's a ridiculous concept. So if someone is not going to be understanding to you needing some space, then consider putting them on pause. All right. Going back to that overcompensation message, again, I'm getting the word FOMO. So there's like this strong fear of missing out on something if you don't take action immediately, which again, there's a time and a place for everything, okay? But obviously, if you're coming from a place of almost desperation, you know, for lack of a better word, then if you're rushing around and overcompensating and you're coming from that place of desperation, it's not going to work out. All right. So, you know, again, I'm hearing red flags as well. So make sure that you're not overlooking red flags where you really should be looking at red flags. Not just red flags that other people present to you, but the red flags that you potentially could be giving off to others as well. Okay, because remember, the way that I teach on this channel is like balance, balance, balance. A time and a place for everything, and everybody should take accountability as and when appropriate. Okay. I'm feeling also with this particular chariot that there's a message about how you're having to maybe temper your own emotions. So you see in this deck how the chariot's moving so quickly that the horses are causing all of that water to kick up. Okay. And water in tarot, as you'll know, is about emotions. So I'm getting the message of other people or someone specifically making you feel guilty for having emotions, and then your emotions, because you're not being validated, your emotions then becoming out of control almost. Okay. I'm feeling that there's a lot of expectations being put on you also. So again, there's lots of things there for you already to really sit with and take a look at and start working through, okay, so that you can start recovering and healing from the trauma. How does this trauma affect your relationship with others? The King of Coins. Yeah, again, see, trying to prove to other people that you're someone of value, you know, that you are useful. Now again, all of this so far has been about other people, where do you come into the equation here, collective? Because from what I can ascertain so far, your trauma has led you to be very much people-pleasing and not giving yourself enough time to really sit with everything, okay? The devil. The devil has come out in the way of how you see yourself. Which isn't great. But, as is true with everything, there needs to be a balance. So how you see yourself, some of you see yourself as a workaholic. Some of you know full well that you bury yourself in work to avoid feeling the emotions that this trauma has brought up, right? Bury yourself in work so you don't have to look at it. Some of you might have dabbled in some kind of addiction, again, to try and cover up and conceal the emotions that you were really needing to look at. So there is a lot of self-reflection here, but it also feels a lot like maybe you've come down a bit too hard on yourself as well. Some of you do see yourself as being toxic, and you do understand the reasons why. So again, there is a lot of self-awareness that's going on. And isn't that a fantastic starting point for any kind of healing? It really is. So it's like you know deep down the reasons why you do certain things. You know all of the things that you don't particularly like about yourself. So now is the time to really start looking at those things instead of trying to metaphorically sweep it underneath the rug, either with your work or with some other kind of addiction. I'm hearing shopping addiction as well. Someone's got a bit of a shopping addiction to try and fill a void that they feel within themselves, and that lasts for all of about maybe 10-20 minutes, and then it disappears again. Okay, so again, lots of self-awareness here, which we like to see that, but keep everything in balance, right? Keep everything in balance. What you need to do to release this trauma, literally as I said, it's Justice card, is to keep everything in balance. Number one, make sure you're not blaming everyone else for your own problems. And number two, making sure that you yourself are taking accountability as and where appropriate. Okay. Recognize when someone is trying to victim blame. Okay. So what they're saying is that victims and abusers, they're a perpetual river, and it's all entwined with each other, okay? So victims can become abusers, and then abusers can become the victims, so on and so forth. Spirit is wanting for you to choose to be neither, all right? It's to recognize that you were victimized, but do not allow that to become your defining feature. Okay, because if you allow your trauma to become your defining feature, then that is the quickest route to becoming a narcissistic abuser yourself. You see how that all works in with each other. Okay. So obviously that's what we're wanting to avoid. Also, if someone's telling you, you deserved it, you made me do it. Here's the thing as well, people like that, nobody is exempt from their abuse, right? Nobody. People like that, they will hurt absolutely everybody in their path, no matter who they are, right? Nobody is exempt, right? Recognizing that you didn't necessarily bring it all on yourself. I know that there's so much gaslighting that goes on out there in the spiritual community, and I'm sick and tired of hearing it, okay? The amount of victim blaming that goes on in the spiritual community is absolutely disgusting. Because no, not everybody attracts it or brings it on themselves. That is the worst thing that you could tell people. That is disgusting. There comes a certain point where you have to recognize that someone is mistreating you, and then you can do something about it. Obviously, if you allow the mistreatment to continue after you've recognized it, then yeah, absolutely. You know, then you need to really take a long, hard look at yourself and why you're allowing people to treat you that way. You don't want to be complacent in your own abuse. Abso-friggin-lutely. But someone here has been made to feel like somehow they brought all of this on themselves, and that's just completely disgusting, right? Because someone else has told them that, and I don't like that at all, which is why it needs to be acknowledged, and that's the reason why I do these trauma-based readings, because I believe that it's actually going to help people to take back their power. All right. So that is what you can do to release your trauma, okay? The lessons that you can learn from your past experience, the Knight of Swords, okay? So in this deck, is 2 eagles and a helmet, a metal helmet that's got eagle wings on it. And the first message I'm getting with that one is protection. So the lessons that you can learn from this experience collective is how to defend yourself in an intellectual manner, because it's the Knight of Swords energy. Okay, Swords energy is all about communication, intellect, reasoning, logic. Okay, being mindful also. So you can protect your mind, maintaining that strong sense of self, and you see the dark clouds in the background as well, is learning to recognize the signs that someone is trying to mess with your mind, with your thoughts, with your memories. Okay. With the eagles, that's all about having farsight and foresight. So it's learning to see when something's going to happen. It's taking a look at your trauma from a different viewpoint, from a different perspective also. How you can begin to move past this experience, the 8 of Wands. It's a card of forward movement, forward momentum. Some of you might actually have to physically move away from your current environment. They're saying you cannot heal in the environment that made you sick in the first place. For somebody, you were made to feel codependent on another person. You were made to feel like you couldn't strike out on your own. And that's why your lessons coming through is that metal helmet. It's like, yeah, you're more than capable of striking out on your own. It is time for you to do exactly that. Okay. King of Swords is in the position of how your life will change once you fully release and process your trauma. It's having a better understanding of the human condition, having a healthier image of who you yourself are as a person. Okay. It's finding your strength, finding your power. See how that looks an awful lot like Archangel Michael. I'm feeling as well that a lot of you will actually help others to recognize their own trauma and help them to process their trauma. It's kind of like a ripple effect here that's going on. You'll find yourself being able to speak more freely. Somebody's got a little bit of a speech impediment here that's been brought on through their trauma. You will find that that speech impediment will lessen quite significantly. You're going to be a much better communicator. You'll be able to think really, really clearly. You'll be able to articulate things much better than you currently can as well. And who will you become? As I told you at the start of the Read Collective, you're going to become a force to be reckoned with. So it's not that this trauma made you strong. Let's not give them that much credit. This trauma forced you to find the strength that you always had within you. That's what it's done. And that's why you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. You're also going to be uplifting other people and taking the power away from future abusers. You're also going to be stopping in the tracks people who had been victimized just like yourself. You're going to be stopping them from becoming abusers in the future. That's a really powerful position to be in. Very powerful. And that's why you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. That's why you need to keep doing what you're doing by looking at the trauma, processing it, and not trying to bury it under a rug, you know? Yes, it's bloody hard at times. It's horrible. It's a lifelong process also. But it's also the most worthwhile thing that you'll ever do for yourself. Like ever. What else for our collective that's dealing with trauma, please? Oh. Don't forget to fulfill your needs while helping others. Yeah. Self-care is not selfish. Okay? Remember, narcissism is the distorted version of self-care. Alright? You're keeping everything in balance. Don't forget to fill your own cup. Don't spend too much time in despair. Yeah. Move through the emotions and release it. Exactly. Exactly. So you're not wallowing in self-pity when you're having these, I call them days of regression. Okay? You're not wallowing in self-pity. It's really important that on those days of regression that you legit sit with it. The memories that are trying to come up to the forefront, let them. That's not wallowing. That's your brain and your body trying to process the experiences that you've been through. That's your body preparing yourself to become this new version of yourself. Your brain is trying to rewire itself. Despite the frustration, you're on your way to making all of your dreams come true. Yeah. So do you remember how we started off this read with you being in the Four of Cups energy, which was feeling hopeless in the situation, feeling disconnected from everything else that was going on around you, feeling a bit of like a failure, feeling like a reject or rejected. Spirit's saying, look, you're going through a time at the moment of deep, deep frustration. It is understandable. It's understandable. Try not to stay in that place for too long. Okay? You are actually on your way to making progress in spite of current appearances. What is it they say about appearances? Appearances can be deceiving. You're gonna have days where one day you're feeling great, and then the next day, for no reason whatsoever, you're remembering all of this crap that you went through. And it's going to drag you down and feel really, really heavy. That's what I was on about when I says the days of regression. That's normal for someone who's gone through trauma. All right? That's also temporary. That's really, really temporary. You're on your way to making all of your dreams come true. Okay, so if you felt that that reading helped you out, if you felt that it gave you the inspiration to continue to keep going, please make sure that you click like on the video so that someone else can hopefully then benefit from the messages as well. Okay, remember, this channel is all about how to take your power back. All right, that's what we focus on most here. If you feel that you could benefit from a personal reading, then the link to place your booking should be in my description box below. Okay, it's phoenixkeiatarot.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.